Hello and welcome to my channel, Making Crafts. Today we're going to be making a mini journal insert or mini album. This could be a standalone Happy Mail, or it can be a standalone mini album to document a party or a small event. It can also be a junk journal insert where you can just journal on it and you didn't have to add pictures. But it's just a little mini album that uses one 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And so it stretches out, and this is your pages. And then you have the back side as well to add photos or writing on. And I think it'll be neat to use it to add photos and then to write on as well about the event. And so this one I made using the Romantic Collection, and my paper is cut up. This is the cover, but it's the Romantic Collection by Stamperia, and it's the Garden House paper pack. So I made that one using that set. And then I've just decorated it with some of the bits and pieces from that paper pack. And then in another video I made these little guys using that paper pack and using some Tim Holtz dye and Tim Holtz Little People. And so I can link to that video as well to show you how I created this little cluster here. So today we're going to be using the Sparrow Hill collection, a piece of paper from that collection. I thought summer is getting close to the end, so I want to use this paper up, and I thought this would be good for a summer party photos that I have, and so I thought this would be a good piece of paper to use for that. And so the back just has stripes, and then the front has the image. And this, I've cut the front cover up of this paper pack, but this is the title of it, and I will link below to this paper pack as well as to this paper pack. Both of these came from the Rubber Buggy shop, and this is my Rubber Buggy design team project. So for this journal, there's a couple ways you can make it. You can make it so that you cut your paper from top to bottom, or you can make it from side to side. And so it really depends on your piece of paper. And for this one, I want to use this piece of paper, but I found out that I would need to cut it from top to bottom so that I didn't cut into any of the birds or cut any of those birds off. And so what I did in order to decide that was I just measured my piece of paper, and I know that I'm going to be cutting it into 4-inch strips. And so if you measure your 4-inch strips, you'll see where it's going, what lines it's going to cut. And so I decided to do this one from top to bottom. So today I'm going to show you how to make this mini album or journal insert using your paper that requires you to cut the strips from top to bottom. And then I'll be back later to show you the side to side one, and that will make more sense. So we want to start out by cutting our paper into 3 strips. And the strips are going to measure 4 by 12. So I'm going to cut from the top of my paper down to make my 4-inch strip. So here are our 4-inch strips, our 3 4 by 12 inch strips. And we just have to decide now which one we want on the cover. So what you're looking at is when you make your cover, the part that's at the very bottom is what's going to be on the front. And so you just want to take a look at it and see which piece you like the best. And remember, it's only going to be, let's see, about 3 inches of it will be showing. So you kind of want to get a little idea, 3 to 4 inches of it be showing, to see which one you like best. And I think I like this one best as my cover, which I will lose that little bird because it will be on the back, but I think that's the one I'm going to use. And so these two will be my pages on the inside, and I think that will look good. So once you decide which one's your cover, you want to go ahead and score your cover first. So you want to put your paper into your scoreboard with the top of your strip on the left-hand side. And if you're using non-directional paper, you don't have to worry about that. But since I am worrying about the direction and which direction everything goes for this journal, I want to have the bottom on the right-hand side and the top of the strip on the left-hand side. And so then I'm going to score at 2.5, and again at 8 and 8 1/4. And we're just going to fold on those lines. And I do see that I scored into my bird. So what I may have to do is when I add the decoration, I'll probably cover that up since the little bird is peeking, just his little eye is there. But that'll be okay because we are going to decorate this up. So then for your next piece, you're going to want to score, let's see, which one do I want to be next? I think I will use this one. So for your next piece, you want to put it into your scoreboard again with the top of your strip on the left-hand side. And this time we're going to score at 1 inch, again at 4 3/8. And 3/8 is just that little blue mark right before the halfway mark. So 4 3/8. And then we're going to score again at 7 3/4. And then for the last strip, once again we're going to put the top in on the left-hand side and the bottom's over here on the right. We're going to score at 3 3/8. So once again, that's the third mark from the 3, and it's just the one little blue mark that is before the 3 1/2. So we're going to score at 3 3/8, 6 3/4, and 10 1/8. And the 1/8 is the first little blue mark after the 10. So we're just going to score there. Now we have a little bit more cutting to do. We're going to cut off, where we scored this at 10 1/8, we want to cut that little piece off. So I'm just going to trim that off real quick. And hold on to it because we can use that to make a pocket. So now we have our 1 inch score flap here. What we want to do is we want to take this piece and we just want to attach it to that flap right before you get to your scored lines. You don't want to hinder this from folding, so you're just going to attach it right there on the top. And mine almost covered up the wording, but I don't think it covers it up enough to hurt it. So we're just going to add glue to that little 1 inch flap, and then we will attach our other strip. And make sure you're following the direction, that the top of your strip is at the top up here, so that when everything is lined up, it's straight. Nothing's upside down. I just want to make sure I didn't do it on the score line there. And I may just slide it up just a little so you can see more of that H. There we go. And then we're just going to fold it up like a zigzag. So to fold it, this will be staying down. And so we have our first score line. We're just going to fold over on the first score line and press it down. And then for the next score line, we're just going to fold back. And then once again, we'll fold forward. And I got a little glue right there where I attached the two, so I'm just wiping that off real quick. Then we're just going to fold back and then forward again. And so we have our little book there. So here is our book that's going inside of our journal. So we just want to bring the cover over, and on the cover we have our 1/4 inch spine here is what I'm going to call it. It gives you room for your journal to fit in here. So what we're going to do is open it up with the 1/4 inch piece here, and we want to add glue to this largest flap that's on our little book. So you see the book has a flap there at the very bottom that's larger. We're going to take and just add glue just to the back of this flap here, and then we're going to attach it right up against the first score line. So we're not going to get into that 1/4 inch piece there. We're going to be right below the first score line so we don't hinder it from folding over, and we're just going to attach the flap right there to the book. So we just want to be sure that we line the edges up of our paper from side to side, and that we also stay right below that score line so that we don't hinder that from folding up. Just want to slide it over. Make sure I get everything lined up. Just want to press that down really good. And then we have our book. So here is our book. So now we need to fix our little closure at the bottom. So you can use any stapler that you have. I'm just bringing in this stapler that I have. It's an office stapler, but you can bring in any little small stapler, little school stapler, anything like that. And we're going to put staples in the bottom here, and that's what holds this flap like this, so that you can tuck your cover into the flap. But when you do that, we want to staple into this bottom piece here that we glued down, but we don't want to staple into our cover. So we have to be very careful when we fold it up and staple it that we don't staple into the cover. So you want to pay attention on the side here how far your cover comes down inside of this flap. Now you want to staple it with it in there so that you are sure to get it far enough down that your cover can fit in the flap, but also far enough up that it's holding your cover securely. So you just want to look and measure out and make sure that you do not hit your cover, and then you're just going to staple. And then I just come over and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, trying to make sure I don't hit my cover, but that I'm also lined up with my other staple. So there, my staples are a little off, but that's okay because we are going to decorate that up. So I'm going to be using some fussy cuts from the Sparrow Hill Fussy Cut Pad, which is a 6x6 pad that has tons of fussy cuts in it. And I've used this in some of my other videos, so I'm not going to flip through it because I have cut quite a bit out of this. And I'm going to use those today to decorate the front here. So you can leave the staples. If you want the staples to show, you can leave that. But I'm going to take the strip that we cut off, and I am going to use it as a band across and cover the staples. And across the front here, I'm trying to decide exactly where I want it. And I kind of want to cover up, we mentioned covering up that bird below where he had folded over, his little head folded over. I think I'll cover that up. And then I'm just going to add some of the flowers here from the Fussy Cut pack. And then I also have a little birdhouse, little house from the Fussy Cut pack. I think I'll add there. And then the little sign that says, "Together is my favorite place to be," because this is going to be an album where I have pictures of my family where we all got together in the spring and we hadn't been together, had a get together and been together in so long. So that's what I'm going to use this for. I'm trying to decide, just laying everything out before I glue it down. Let me put this up here and move this flower down a little bit so that everything is not in the same spot. I just don't want to cover up the words on the sign. Okay, I like that. So I'm just going to glue everything down. I think I'll first attach it to this strip, and then I'll attach the strip. And I really hate covering up that beautiful flower, but that's okay. Sometimes we have to cover those things up. I could actually see the back has one of those flowers as well. I could see what that looks like, just having these. Well, it's just going to cover it up as well. It's not going to show, but it may look pretty to do this. Let's just see. I kind of like that better than the stripes, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Let me lay it on here though. Okay, so I think I like it like that with the other side showing, the one with the flowers, and the lighter side showing. So I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm just going to add all this together. I'm going to glue all this together, and then I'll add it to the front. This paper is so gorgeous, it's hard to cover anything up. I really hate covering up the flowers there, but There's so many beautiful things on this paper. You have to cover it up. Even when you're going to add the pictures, we'll have to cover it up. So I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on the back of this. So for this one, I'm not going to be adding this one to a journal. I am going to be using this one as a standalone mini album, just for a small little get-together party. And I took quite a few pictures, so I'm hoping it'll all work out, that that all the pictures will fit in it, but I think they will. If I get one picture of each person in it, that's all that really matters. Or each person that was at the party that day. I'll put that right there. I think that's looking good. And I wonder if I need another little flower right there where the two lines meet. The edge of the pocket here, or the piece of paper. And I could make this a pocket, or I could just cover it up and just put a flower there and then just put it down as a band across. I'm looking in my pile of flowers here that match. Got it all out over there. So this could go. I like that. So I think I like that better. So let me just add a little glue to it. The great thing about these fussy cuts, if you go ahead and just take a day and cut, a few of the sheets apart and fussy cut these out, then when you're making something, you have pieces that you can just put together and you don't have to stop and do all that cutting. So now I'm just going to add that to the front like that. And I'm not going to make it a pocket this time. I'm just going to attach it as a decoration. But you could make this a pocket if you wanted to. If I was adding it to a journal, I probably would make it a pocket so that you'd have another little tuck spot for journaling. But since I already have a specific idea for this one as a mini album, I'm not going to do that. And there we go. I think that's very pretty. So I love how quick these journals come together. For these two, I did create them cutting from the top of the page, so both of them are the same. You'll hold the journal like this, and so you would add your pictures. The top of your photo would be up here and the bottom here. So you can make them where they're sideways, but for this paper I wanted to make it so that it comes out, from top to bottom here. And I love how that turned out. And so that is the pages in this. And so the other side is just stripes. So what I'll do is I'll come back with some of the fussy cuts and maybe even some of the papers that are in this kit and add some decorations to these pages. But I want to wait until I add the photo so I see what the photo is, and then I'll add decorations around the photos. So that's what I want to do for this one. And then for this one that I created, I'm thinking of adding this one to a journal. It's either going to be added to a journal or it may be Happy Mail. And so I think it would be great for summer photos. And so that's the back side of all of those. And so what you could do is journal about the event there, and then you have all of these little spots to add the photos. So I really love how both of these came together, and they came together so quickly. So I hope that this has inspired you to give it a try. You just need one sheet, one 12 by 12 sheet of paper to actually make the journal. And the papers are pretty enough. You wouldn't have to add the extra decorations, but you know me, I always want to add a little bit more. So that's why I did that, but you wouldn't have to do that. And you could just add flowers over the staples and not as much decorations. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.